Hello, wonderful people. Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel. And today I'm going to be talking about what I feel are the best bass albums of 2023 so far. We are officially halfway through the year of our Lord 2023, and a lot of good music has come out in that time, and bass music in particular. And here in this particular video, just going to be doing a little bit of a recap on the great bass albums that I feel we have had so far from January to June. 9 albums that I'm going to be talking about here, all of which I enjoy for different reasons, all of which I'm a massive fan of, and all of which I recommend if you're yet to check any of them out. I'm going to be mentioning them in alphabetical order by way of artist name. I didn't think I could do a 1, 2, 3 quite yet. We'll leave that to the end of the year, and on that note, just before we get going here, going to be doing an EPs video for this as well, so my favourite, or what I feel are the best bass EPs of this year so far in bass music. That'll drop sometime next week, so do look out for that. But yeah, without any further ado, let's go. And the first album I'm going to be talking about today is Azale's Transcendence, which is one of the most outright beautiful bass albums that you're going to hear all year, bar none, absolutely for sure. Just the texture, the colour, the tone of the sound, the production overall, the arrangement from start to finish, how everything's brought together, absolutely impeccable in doing that. And yeah, it just kind of feels like it's trying to sonically replicate or recreate a kind of paradise in your mind through that kind of sonic avenue, and does a very good job of that. Not completely stacked, I wouldn't say, with memorable ideas. It's more of an experience, I think, to just immerse oneself in and kind of allow the music to become a part of you over the course of the LP. But there are still also very captivating singular tunes here to give it that added wow factor. And generally, it's just a gorgeous Neuro-y kind of album, very magical, and it's just left more of a mark on me as I've gone back to it again and again, which I have done quite a lot. So yeah, when the year comes to an end, it'll be up there. Following that, we have Etherborn by Chime, which I just love for the ambition of it alone. I think that aspect really does single it out from a few others that we get here, from the amount of genres tackled to the story that binds together all these tracks, the artwork reflecting that as well, just all ties together pretty well. And I think you can tell that Harvey just had a real desire to keep pushing this project more and more the more he kind of dove into it and explored it, this world that he's created. He wanted to wring everything out of it and kind of squeeze every bit of creativity that he could out of this project, and I think he did. Beyond that, it's super colourful and joyous and melodic and full of life, with some really good tracks on it as well. I think some of his best in recent years, in my opinion. You know, it has a couple of dips here and there, but you can really feel the innovation radiating off it pretty much from start to finish. So yeah, top LP. Then we have Dance with the Devil by Drone. This album is so goddamn evil, menacing, atmospheric, dark, gritty. I love it. A collection of some of the most devilish, low-lying beats that you're going to hear all year in bass music for sure. Very well produced with a real warmth to it, which is kind of suggestive of trying to provide a bit of comfort, luring you in, just trying to trick you a little bit before biting you with the menace, again, of that production overall. And great vocals as well on this album for sure. Features from the likes of Snowy, Eto, and Ems as well. So much of what 1985 is best for as a label, is most renowned for, is showcased on this LP. You know, proper underground vibes and culture merging together in this fantastic way over the course of this LP, and I just keep going back to it. That's all I can say. It keeps bringing me back in, and that is maybe the highest praise that I could give it. Next up, we have Floor Space by Jules. Really nice to hear someone do the new age trap sound justice again, finally, over the course of an LP. It's been quite a while, many years I think, but yeah, recently in my last roundup that I put out a couple of days ago, I said about this LP that there's a lot of the same kind of energy that would be true about it. You know, you get to the end of the LP and you think maybe there were parts where that kind of energy just became a little bit overwhelming. That hyper kind of new age trap sound doesn't let up all that much, but simultaneously, to go with that energy, there's a lot of good material here, like a lot. That is also very true of this album. The guy's been a melody pro for ages, but it really comes to the fore here with this LP, you know, establishing the aura, the epic feel that that style of music is all about, the new age trap sound. Something that few people have done, let alone over the course of an album, you know, been able to infuse the melody effectively into the music, and Jules translates his sound over to the album format, again, like I said, for the most part, very effectively. And it only came out last month, and for me to put it in here when there are quite a few albums from that month, from June, that I haven't, just says a lot. It speaks volumes for how much of an impression it has left on me, and I'm sure it will continue to do so over time. Moving on, we have Nothing Good Will Come of This by Cursor, and if you like really weighty, industrial, wubby dubstep and halftime music, then you're gonna like this project quite a lot. I think a hell of a lot. I don't think it has an album feel per se, it's more of a collection of thick bangers to just kind of bulldoze through your mind, but it is 10 tracks, it is half an hour long, it's an album length, it poses as an album, and it is quite hard to stay away from. The quality and the definition of the production is insane, given how much is going on here with these tracks, how heavy they are from start to finish, and there are fantastic ideas and drops as well to go with that, so good lord. I mean, if you like heavy electronic music, if you like it in your face, if you like it thumping, if you like it full on and thwacking you into another dimension, then you need this in your life. There's no other way of saying it. You need it. After that, we have the debut nitepunk album, Human, and the more I've gone back to this one, the more I've realised basically just how good it is, to be honest. I mean, still got my drawbacks with it, it still feels to me just a little bit top heavy in terms of the relationship with the energy between the first 10 tracks or so and the ones following that, and some of the tracks here, some of the cuts feel a little bit rushed, especially in the introductions, but more importantly, the abounding good that we get here, the insane amount of good we get over the stretch of this LP, has revealed itself to me more and more over time. Every cut, and I mean that, every single cut we get here has something memorable or distinctive about it, just something lodging in the memory, living long in there, and beyond that, really well made, it's compelling, it's thrilling, it's kind of movie-like in how it sounds and the aesthetic and all of that. You can just feel the passion in how it's made, you know, with all the peaks and troughs in genre and mood and tone to reflect his own story as well, from Georgia to New York, all the trials and tribulations he's been through and everything beyond that as well. It's just got a really for the ages feel about it, and we're only a few months into hearing it and it being widely available to the outside world. So that in itself is a special thing. Moving on from there, we have Quest for Fire by Skrillex, a very solid return on the heavy album front for one of the biggest names ever in bass music. The opening 6 tracks we get here, from Leave Me Like This to Inhale Exhale, is in my opinion, for me, one of the best openings to a bass album of all time. On that note, yeah, it may be a little bit lopsided, this LP, in terms of the concentration of quality with that first 6 and what follows after that, but there are still good tracks after that following 6, really good ones, and I think it is hard to deny overall, in my opinion, that when this album hits, it really fucking hits, like my god. Huge proof, this album, that he still more than has it when it comes to the heavier side of his music making, that he's still an incredible songwriter, and with incredibly clean production as well, and a huge range in style, wild features, you know, the roster of artists on this LP, on this collection is absolutely mad. Just a lot of top tier quality on this collection, on this project, and it'll be right up there at the very, very top when 2023 draws to a close. And ultimately, we have Evolve by Subfocus, and you know, you guys, you saw the first listen I did for this album, I expressed my concerns, I found a lot of it way too simple, but the fact of the matter is that decent for him, or average for Subfocus, is still pretty great within the grand context of bass music at large, and fundamentally I think pretty much all these tracks, all these cuts we get here on this LP have a real class about them, and it's not often you get that with a bass LP. The rate at which this guy just seems to shit out great melodies is absolutely insane, with extremely memorable vocals to go with that as well. Production almost always there to beef up and back up those good ideas that we get, and really I think it's just time to start talking about this guy as one of the best ever, not just in D&B but bass music at large, because the longevity and the consistency with Subfocus is nigh on astonishing. And finally, for this particular video, we have Genesis by White Fang, the alter ego of Alice in Wonderland. For any of you watching this video who may not have known, she comes through here with a pretty top bass fueled selection, has to be said. Maybe not quite with the character of some of the other LPs mentioned here in this video, but there's a lot of good drop material here on this LP, like quite a lot, with a wide range of genres tackled as well, and really tightly put together, not overstaying its welcome in any way, quite a cohesive project, made with a real punch to the production as well, across those different styles of music that she goes for. So yeah, I think it's just a very good platform to go off going forward, and I'm looking forward to hearing more from this alias in the future off the back of hearing this LP. Just before I leave you, a couple of honourable mentions that could find their way into the main list by the time the year is up, but that I'm still trying to kind of figure out what I feel about them at the moment, and which will take a little bit of time to wear off of me a little bit more. So a couple of albums, well, a few albums actually, that came out very recently in June, just a few weeks ago, and that, yeah, just need a little bit more time with. So you got Algorithm by Boxcar, Syntheism by EPROM, you got I'll Wait, I Guess by Hieroglyphics, you got Earwax by Six Impala, and The Noodle Effect by Spaghetti. I mean, yeah, quite a lot of big albums came out last month. Discussed them already on the last roundup in a bit more detail, so if you want to see that. But just in the context of a best albums of the year list, I'm not entirely sure where they would fit quite yet, so looking forward to seeing where those ones, or how those ones, rub off on me a little bit more over time. And then a couple others here that I'm going to be revisiting a couple more times over the course of the year, again, just to see how they grow on me, how they might rub off on me over the next few months or so. We got Somewhere We Belong by Burt Oak, we've got Outer by Damnasi, we've got Heritage by Abstract, we've got Power Bank by Mizo, or Mizo, not entirely sure, and then we've got Soap by Woolg to round the honourable mentions off. But there we have it, guys, my top bass albums of the year 2023 so far. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. But now I want to pass it off to you guys. What are your favourite bass albums of 2023 so far? Also, what do you make of my list? Are there any that you think I definitely should have included? Are there any weird ones in there that you're like, oh, that's a bit odd, I don't know about that inclusion? But yeah, primarily want to hear from you and your favourites. What are your favourite bass albums of this year so far? Drop it all in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a big old thumbs up, a like on the video, that'd be much appreciated, and subscribe if you haven't yet and you enjoy bass music coverage, electronic music coverage, EDM coverage, all that good stuff. And beyond that, my Patreon is linked down below in the description if you want to load more exclusive or bonus content for a small fee each month. Helps the channel grow, it helps the channel keep going, and I would much appreciate it if you want to contribute and help out and get that exclusive content. Yeah, that is in the description. That aside, bass EPs of the year video coming out in a couple of days. Please do join in for that. I will see you then in that video. Keep it naughty until then. Peace.